You want to start with a little soccer talk?
We definitely should talk with soccer talk.
All right. Why don't we not waste any time? Let's bring on our guest. We've got Union midfielder Leon Flach joining us. Leon, thanks. You've got a few days here without a game until Sunday after a grueling schedule. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
It's a blast to get to talk to you. What do you get to do on your downtime here? Obviously practicing, but do you get a little bit of a break here with games not all week long?
Yeah, for sure. As a soccer player, sometimes you have a lot of free days. Sometimes you always have a lot of practice. But in my free time, I spend a lot of time with my teammates, especially the guys who maybe don't have family like I do. So yeah, I spend a lot of time with them, and I always find a good way to spend my free time here. So yeah.
All right. So who's the most fun guy on the team?
That's always a good question. I would say Sergio Santos is definitely a really funny guy, but we have a lot of, I would say, funny guys in the team. But Sergio is always really funny, has a good attitude, is always positive, and he always brings a smile on your face if you come to the locker room and see him. So I would say it's him.
You know, you talk about the players on the team. You were somebody that followed the team before you signed here. And I saw you say about it, the star is the team. That was my impression. Can you talk about what it's like to be a part of that team now?
Yeah, that's true. And I still have this feeling. Yeah, like I said, the star is the team, and that makes us strong. We always have to perform as a team. I think otherwise it's kind of difficult to win the games sometimes. But to be part of this team is, yeah, it's great because I really feel comfortable with all the guys. It's like, I would say, a big family. The staff, the coaches, and the players. We are like one big group, and it means a lot for me that I settled down so well because for sure I'm living alone here, and then it's really important that you have nice teammates who are there for you. So yeah, it means a lot for me to be part of this group.
You know, you talked about that you're living alone here, but from what I've read, you've actually embraced the city of Philadelphia, and that you've compared the city of Philadelphia to someplace back in Germany, Hamburg. So what is it about Philadelphia that you've embraced and what you like so much?
It's definitely also the culture here. Like everybody's, I would say, really friendly, because in Germany, especially in the northern part of Germany, sometimes people are, I would say, a bit cold in the beginning. But here everybody's really friendly. You can do a lot of things. You also have the water next to the city, which is also really nice. It's also, I think, from my point of view, a bit of a green city. You have some parks, some really nice areas. So yeah, there are a lot of things reminding me back to my days in Hamburg.
You know, you and your dad, before you came here, you and your dad had a call with Ernst Tanner. What was it about that meeting that convinced you to come stateside?
Yeah, Jim and Chris Albright were also part of this call, but I would say the whole call convinced me so much because all of those guys were friendly, and they really convinced me also with the project. They told me what they expect from me, what like the plan is with me here, and yeah, it was really convincing because everything what they told me was exactly what you want to hear as a player. So it was a really convincing call, and yeah, it was in the end the completely right decision to come here.
All right, what were the magic words? What did he actually tell you that was convincing?
Look at that.
Yeah, it was, I think that I'm like a little part they are missing right now. Like I don't know what they exactly said, but it was like that they have a really good group, but I could be like this little part which is really needed. And yeah, so if a coach says that you're needed and that you maybe could help the team, and it was already a really good team, so that means also a lot if the coach is saying that. So I think that was maybe the most important sentence in this call, that they need me and I could be a really important part for them.
You mentioned about the coach saying you're needed and Jim being a part of the meeting. He said about you, you're a guy who can dominate MLS games by yourself. You can shut down the top opponent. You're smart and disciplined and a team-oriented guy. What's it been like to play for Jim Curtin and with his offense?
Yeah, it's from my point of view a great coach who's also trusting young players, which is not normal, especially in professional soccer. But he's a great coach. He's talking a lot with the players, and he also has a plan. He's exactly saying what we have to do on the field, but he's also saying that in some points of the game you should make your own decisions. And I think this mix of making your to have the freedom of making your own decisions and the help of the coaching team is what makes us strong. And I think we had a lot of really good games already. For sure, we also had some disappointing maybe losses or draws, but I think we are on a good way, and it's just getting better.
You've had the opportunity to see that the young players for the Union have made their way to being successful here and then making their way back to Europe. You were playing in Europe, came over here, but my understanding is part of why you came over here is because you think that it'll help you get to a higher division in Europe. What is it about seeing Brendan Aronson's success and Mark's success that made you want to come here?
Yeah, that's exactly what maybe also convinced me to come here, because I saw that there's the chance, if I do good here, that there's maybe the chance one day to go back to Europe. But I also saw that some players who are still here, that they develop really good. For example, Kai Wagner and Jose. So many players came here maybe with not a big name, and now they are really good players in this league. So I saw that I could have an opportunity here to develop myself, to play, and to also play a role in the team. And that was what convinced me, because in Europe it's sometimes really hard, especially for a young player, to break in the first team and to get regularly minutes with the first team. So I was convinced that this maybe would be the right step, and in the end it was it. So yeah.
You talk about attention for international play. You made 2 appearances with the German under-18 youth national team. You've been with the U.S. men's national team under 20. What's that been like to get that opportunity to play with the crest of the country on your shirt?
It's always great. I always love to play for a national team, because you see new faces, and you also can compare yourself with different players who are normally the best players of the country, and you can also prove yourself. You can see maybe what is something I could improve, or what is something I can really do good compared to the other guys. So I really love to play for the national team, and I hope I can do this in the next time again.
Are you somebody that watches soccer outside of it? I mean, I know I stayed up watching both Copa games, the U.S. game, the Mexico game. Do you watch that and stay informed?
Yeah. I almost watch every game which is possible to watch. I also watch the second league in Germany, so I have to go up sometimes a bit early. But I also watched, I think, almost every Gold Cup game, especially the games from the USA men's national team. So I really try to watch a lot of soccer in my free time, and I think that is something which is just maybe help sometimes, because you can see what some really good players are doing in the game, and maybe you can do it as well. So it just helps, and it's always nice to watch a soccer game.
We've talked to Coach Curtin a number of times, and he talks about pushing the action. What is it like for you to have a goalie as good as Blake is, so that you can trust that you can push the action and you have him back there to stop everything?
For me, he's maybe the best goalkeeper I've ever played with. He's, I would say, a really, really, really good goalkeeper, because if there's maybe a striker going 1v1 against him, you are almost kind of sure that he's maybe saving the shoot. And so it's a pleasure to have him in our goal. He's communicating. He's also a veteran, so he can help the young players to settle down sometimes. And he's always great, and it's a pleasure that he's our goalkeeper, and I really like and love to play with him.
If people could know one thing about you, that off the pitch, what would you want them to know about?
I would say friendly and respectful, because I try to handle every person the same. Like, it does not matter for me if somebody's maybe a professional soccer player or just maybe the guy who's cleaning up the locker room. I try to handle every person the same. And I would say friendly and respectful is maybe most important.
So the other question that I had for you is, for most people that don't know this, you don't have the typical Texas accent.
No, I have
but you
German accent, I would say.
but you were born in Texas and then moved when you were young to Germany. Did you follow, when you moved back to Germany, did you follow American sports? Did you follow any teams from Houston from where you were?
Yeah, I was following, I would say, the Houston Texans. Was kind of hard the last season, but the seasons before were quite good, so it will be interesting how the next one will be. But especially the Houston Texans, because the NFL is also really big in Europe now, especially in Germany. So I was following the Houston Texans, but that's it. But I would say I really followed them really close, so yeah.
Well, we're going to have Boston Scott on, running back for the Eagles, on soon. If you want, maybe we can hook it up. He came to the Union game a couple weeks ago, so maybe he can return the favor, and you guys can go over to the Eagles game.
There you go.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch a game if there's a chance in September or the month after September. I definitely want to watch a game in person. So yeah, I will definitely try to watch one.
You mentioned coming to September, you've got CONCACAF, your next matchup coming up before we let you go. What's that experience like to have this team be able to play at that high level against the teams you've played, and what are you looking forward to in the next matchup?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, I think, for us as players, but also for the club. I think it's maybe the biggest games in the history of the club, and we definitely want to prove everybody that we are a good team and that we are a tough opponent to play against. And I think we just can win, because I think there are a lot of people who are saying, we won't have a chance. So I think that we definitely want to prove everybody wrong. And I think that will be a tough challenge for us. But with this team, I think everything is possible. So yeah, it will be definitely interesting to play against such a good opponent.
Well, we look forward to following you and what the team does. Thanks so much for giving us a little time here. Enjoy the time and have a good game this weekend.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.